and welcome to the fourth installment of the Jonesin on a Whim podcast. 4 is a special number for me. I was born on the 4th day of the 4th month. I just wanted to get that in. We are in the basement of the North Estate Studios, relegated by the wife. She's cooking. So, and I think it might improve our sound quality. Less height in the ceilings. And
yeah, it's a little more cozy down here.
Might be a happy mistake or a happy accident, I guess is what they say.
That's right.
So, still, Harold North. To the right.
Stefan.
To the left.
Barely made it. All right.
BPT, folks. Black Iron Man. Black People Time. Yo.
Right. Punctual.
Going right out there. I wanted to start early or start on time to make that point, but didn't have to. I still put it in there.
I almost didn't make it.
But we're glad you did.
And we do have the Facebook page. It's at the www.facebook.com/Jonesin on a Whim, all one word. And based on Facebook stock, I think we might be doing a little better than the Facebook.
Yeah. our IPO went a little better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Getting a little greedy, and we're humble. We're humbled by our audience.
Of course.
The 5 listeners.
Hey, we're up to 5?
Right.
Yep.
And the studio audience only consists of my dog this week. So she's staring at me like she wants something, which she probably does.
Like an angry producer.
Right.
Get it right.
Right. But don't judge me. And at Twitter handles, at my name, capital H, capital N, at Twitter. And then
Stefan, not Steven.
Still 0 followers. Well, actually 1, I follow him.
All right, there you go.
And then
How about this?
Cha-Cha Nola started following me too.
Let's up to Annie.
Good.
That's up to Annie. I guarantee before next week, if we do one next week, we'll do it next week.
Oh, yeah,
so we're doing it next week.
You know this thing's on, right?
And I guarantee to all 5 of you, I'm going to have a Twitter handle.
At Black Iron Man. if it's taken the Black Iron Man. So it's going to
the real.
Right. Yeah. Not
or something better if
No, the Black Iron Man.
I'm open to creativity.
Well, I polled the 5 listeners. They love the Black Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
So, and we gained a couple listeners over the weekend.
Right.
So thank y'all in advance.
Both
Enjoy.
of you.
So I had some friends this week, close friends, that their birthday's actually today. So I wanted to do a shout out now. Defer to Stefan for that.
It's the physical resemblance that got you there, yeah.
Who's our older person on the... So.
Well, you don't have to take that.
Oh. Hey, we were talking about our listeners. I just wanted to give a birthday shout out to one of our loyal listeners. Her name's Dolores Dobbs from San Angelo, Texas, and she is 200 years old today. True story. High school classmate of Abe Lincoln. They fooled around a bit. She says she didn't put out. Nothing against Honest Abe, but back then condoms were made of tree bark, so a little less of the home run
right.
type activity back then, just for fun. So happy birthday, Dolores! Thanks for listening. Wish you a happy birthday from Smuckers. Whether you're up for toast, English muffin, or kinky sex, make your choice. Smuckers preserves.
Now with the peanut butter.
Oh man!
And also actual listeners, Casey, Brandy, Carrie, and Melissa, happy birthday.
Act fool.
Love y'all. Love you guys. So moving on. No real. But I did. You last night. You went to the Jon Lovitz.
Oh yes. His improv, or at the Houston Improv. He was doing stand up, and he was
Rare form, maybe.
It was. I'm sorry.
Rare form. He was in. Yeah.
He was in raunchier form than I used to, because we all know Jon Lovitz from Saturday Night Live and The Critic, and all these Adam Sandler movies where he rarely says any kind
in
of
the corner, yeah.
S word.
Kind of creepy, yeah.
He was just like going through all the various words, letter word that you're not supposed to say, and expanding upon them, and
like the Bob Saget, I think, kind of.
Exactly. He's quite the raunchy. The raunchy comedian I hear. I've never seen Saget in person, but
just on television, yeah.
Yeah, Lovitz was good. He started, the crowd started to turn against him a bit when he got into politics,
That's fair. I mean, we're in Texas.
He was dissing on Sarah Palin a bit, and people were like, "Ugh." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry, John."
Right.
That's just us.
Yeah, they're not the right audience.
But I liked his story about like early in his career, like one of his first gigs, before SNL. He plays the piano, and he got a job as a piano player at a steakhouse. And we've all been to those steakhouses where you got the guy in the quiet, music in the background. And he was saying he was told by the manager to just play some gentle piano music and and tell people about the specials. And he's like, "Oh, I can tell jokes too, right?" And he's like, No, just talk about the food." He's like, "All right." So he sits down, up on stage. He's got his little keyboard,
and we have a keyboard in the studio.
Starts it up.
Stefan to use right here,
just like this. Yeah,
drumming it on. There we go.
So he's saying, prime rib special, $15.99. Pedophiles, they're terrible people, but at least they slow down when driving through school zones. He went on like that for a while. I can't do it justice, but that was
clearly no.
That one right there was good.
So he basically, he took it and ran with it in the other direction than his maybe manager wanted him to.
Yeah, I'm guessing he didn't have the job that long.
No, it might have been he wanted that. He probably just wanted more of a voice.
Yeah.
And now he's got one.
Right.
The pothead on Friends episode. I always wanted, when I can drop the Friends, I do.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, there was the obligatory fat lady who couldn't stop laughing at everything, like not just the jokes, but the lead up to the jokes. Yeah. She was just had this cackle going, constantly. And finally,
so his mother was in the crowd.
Yeah, basically. Finally, he's doing the lead up to a joke, and finally he stops and he says to her, "You might want to wait for the punchline."
Wow, you're one fan, John. Come on.
Right. I think the staff came down and talked to her, had her take a little time out, out at the bar for about 20 minutes, calm down.
Well, and I misled you because we were going to do that. We're going to go see that together. But those improv subject lines are exactly as I texted it to you. It's Jon Lovitz this weekend! 2 for 14 tickets on Sunday.
Yeah, sign me up. Yeah,
right. Not for him at all. The redhead guy who we've seen during the Monday Night Football. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he opened.
Yeah. Did he? Okay.
John Garr, I think.
Is that sounds right.
But yeah, $35.
Yeah. So we paid a little bit more for Tracy Morgan, I think.
Yeah, we did.
But Tracy was
he's more current.
Was there, so it was a great moment.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go over the mistakes. We're getting better. This will be quick. There's only I think 8 from last week, and I wanted to do that real quick. But
I can't get over this wall.
Right. So we'll get there. We'll get to maybe 2 or 3. But a lot of it's just confirming what we thought maybe. I referenced the television show with Lisa Kudrow and the Maxim 100, Hot 100, Malin Akerman, and it's called The Comeback, and it's Lisa Kudrow is starring as a one-time sitcom star, which kind of she can relate to, and she's trying to resuscitate her career, and it's kind of staged kind of like The Office as a documentary. Yeah. So, but of course I watched it. It wasn't bad. It was one season, HBO in 2005. And on the second one, I name dropped last week, and I name dropped the wrong name. Kyle Williams from LSU, current Buffalo Bill defensive lineman. LSU, my wife does know his wife. I called him Kevin Williams, mixing him up with a more brown fella for the Vikings. Kevin Williams. I'm not even sure if he's with the Vikings anymore.
Of the Williams twins?
Right, yeah.
So, okay,
yeah.
All right.
Different father.
I see.
And we were going through the over-unders, and I said the Ravens drafted I thought they may have drafted a receiver high. I may have been thinking of the Ravens signing Jacoby Jones, which...
is aiming high, I guess, but
I've got nothing there. So
you may have been
So we're on to 4. I mentioned Shade or Slade when we were talking about the Chiefs in that same segment. I meant Will Shields. He actually played guard for the Chiefs for 14 years. Made 12 Pro Bowls. So
Yeah, once he said Shade or Slade, all I could think about was I'm Going to Get You, Sucker. That movie with Jim Brown and Keenan Ivory Williams.
Yes, yeah.
Another Williams. Another different father.
All good. Old now. That movie's got to be 20 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
almost, or actually, maybe more than that.
Maybe more, yeah.
It might be, yeah.
Next week's. And I wanted to clarify, we did the fake Tony drop. We call Tony Milwaukee.
Yeah.
There we go.
Fake Tony because he's the Chiefs tight end, and Tony Gonzalez was there forever. So we'll get into references like that, especially when football season picks up. You might lose this. You might get lost for a bit, but we'll bring you back the next week.
I'm going to get you Sucker.
Yeah.
1988.
88.
And Keenan Ivory Wayans, not Williams.
Oh no,
drunk already.
Yeah. Well, that's a shot. So yeah, 24, almost 25. So that we'll look for the Blu-ray.
We'll look for the
release
the 25th anniversary
exactly.
DVD.
It's coming.
There won't be any extras on it. It'll just be.
No, they put it all in there. You can tell. And the fifth one we mentioned, Malcolm Floyd, hadn't been signed. He did sign in August, last August, 2-year deal.
Well, they had to be ticked off then.
Yeah, I mean, he's stealing money. But on to number 6. We didn't know who in the world played receiver for Minnesota. After I released this list, you'll know why. Jerome Simpson, who they recently signed from Cincy, was a bit of a criminal.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Percy Harvin.
And a lousy actor.
Yes. One of those Simpsons. But Percy Harvin, who we should have gotten.
Yes.
But injuries, he can become memoryless.
Well, he's coming off of a shoulder right now.
Yeah, he's
So
very talented guy, but
right. Yeah.
Not on the field enough.
No, not enough. Michael Jenkins, and Aram Shadu. I think it's Ben Aram Shadu. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
Good luck with that.
I think he went to Auburn actually, so he sucked there too. Number 7, we all agreed Vegas would go over 10 wins.
Oh, the Niners?
Yeah. We also mentioned the receivers they signed, but we left out they overdrafted the receiver in the first round as well, that A.J. Jenkins from Illinois. He was actually projected as a 3rd or 4th round pick. And anytime I can crap on the Niners these days, I do it.
So a team that beats the Saints needs to be
right.
crapped.
No, we get a rematch Thanksgiving weekend this season. So we're looking forward to that. And finally, last mistake. This is good. It's only 8. And really, there weren't really many mistakes. It was just things I wanted to point out. We talked about the Seattle receivers along the receiver theme here. They are Baldwin, and it's what's his first name?
James?
No.
Jonathan.
No. It's Doug, I think.
Doug.
Oh, wow.
I think it's Doug. But Seneca.
Yeah,
so it's easier just to Seneca.
Yeah.
Mike Williams, who actually seems, I think it's been reported recently he's back on the Cheetos.
Like full Cheetos?
I think so.
Well,
Work ethic's back.
Not even the bacon.
The lack of, yeah. Sidney Rice, who we mentioned, and then Golden Tate, who I think we also mentioned.
Yes.
And that's it. I think it is Doug Baldwin. I think because it sounds wrong, so it's got to be right.
Probably so.
Yeah. So that's it for the mistakes. On to our weekly 51-second segment. 51st State, New Orleans, 51 seconds, and this week it's about T.O. Is this the end of Terrell Owens? I don't know. I hope so. It's time for him to go away. But he was released by his indoor team, the indoor football team, that he also had a ownership share in. He missed two playoff games, 2 games as they pushed towards the playoffs. He also skipped some children's hospital visits, and he went MIA. And so he is who we thought he was.
The Allen Wranglers.
Yes, and that's right outside of Dallas.
Yeah, that's not a guy's name. It's like a guy named Allen. He's like, I'm going to start an indoor football team.
Right, exactly. Yes, not even Tim Allen, just Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he actually owned a 50% stake, and it was part of his contract, and his buyout, they gave him $50. So
wow.
The team is obviously worth more than that, but $50 on his buyout, and he might. He is. They are filing a suit against the team, saying they violated his contract. Apparently, in his contract, road teams were supposed to pay him for road games. So,
but he didn't show up, right?
Right. So that's a fair point.
So what is the? So what is he suing for? Like emotional damages, or
you're right? This guy has
in terms of owed salary.
He didn't cry in that one game I can't believe I caught the ball.
It can't be more than a couple $100, right? Yeah.
Right. So
hardly worth the lawyer fees and court costs. But
yeah.
Oh well.
I wanted 51 seconds was all he really deserved. So, and if y'all want to, and we've had many thoughts about this guy.
I mean, it's over, right? Because you got no credibility in the league, right? Nobody is gonna argue or go to bat for him, except maybe Steve Johnson from the Bills. Because if you ask him, he'll say, "Yeah, T.O. helped me a lot that year he was there."
Right.
Because Steve actually was still there at that time. But besides that isn't going to be enough to get him a gig.
Not in the NFL, certainly.
Yeah, let's laugh and think about him being a wide receivers coach. And talking about Dale.
This is how you loaf. This is how you drop a ball.
Yeah.
You got to catch that ball with your chest.
Yeah, titty catch.
This is how you rile up the media.
Yeah, I mean, he is who we thought he was. Yeah, I mean,
let him off the hook.
They didn't let him off the hook.
No one ever has. And a local radio show was talking about him this week and wondering why he wasn't openly banging his assistant, who was fairly hot. I've always thought he was gay. I mean, nothing wrong with that, but he was his gay hatred was so open, it was so strong that a lot of times that leads to that.
Made you wonder. Yeah.
Right. So, but I guess he does. I mean, along with his laundry list of drops, he also, I think, he has some kids roaming around too. So,
yeah,
maybe that.
Which is allegedly why he's broke.
Right. That's part of it.
Kids.
Can't imagine he has 7 cars. But.
Not to mention the kids in the back braces who are waiting for him to show up at the hospital.
Right.
Oh, where's T.O.?
Yeah.
He's my role model.
Oh gosh. Well, then at least they got to learn fairly quickly.
They have been saved.
The real Terrell Owens.
That's the greatest thing he could have done for those kids. Is
Yes, not show. I second
show
that.
him what he's really like.
Yes. So, let's move. No, well, he did have he had a stint in the D League in the NBA.
Don't test me.
I thought he might have got a contract. I'm just going for a. So, but we quick NBA playoff update. Obviously, you can't get the smile off my face. My Thunder.
Yeah.
Back. I got the shirt. I got everything.
Yes, you do.
And the smile, everything. We're tied at 2. What a resilient performance by a team. At home, they just have a lot more energy. But I think the key for me has been Westbrook's change in his approach. He's not chucking, and he still chucks some, but he's moving the ball around. And not only him, Falosha, and then
Cephalosha.
Ibaka, Cephalosha and Ibaka just making shots. And Perkins took Steve Kerr making a comment during Game 2 to wake him up, and whatever it takes, he's been Perkins again. So tied at 2, I couldn't be happier. I'm ready for Game 5 tomorrow night because for me it might be the series. So
I would call it pivotal.
yes,
Yeah.
best of 3 now
Because it's back in San Antonio, right?
Correct.
So,
I wish it did do the finals format because let's ride this wave.
Right.
And put the pressure back on San Antonio.
Yeah, but obviously the Thunder got to win a game in San Antonio to win this series.
Of course.
They appear to be rolling pretty well, but I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
Can't sleep on the Spurs
because they tend to make adjustments, and I mean, Game 3 you can kind of argue that maybe they fell asleep a little bit, but Game 4 they fought and they did what they could with that fourth quarter. But
yeah, they battled back.
But it's a series now. I mean, if you go into conspiracy theory mode, the long-standing theory has always been that from the Eastern Conference Finals, really every series if they can get away with it, but at least from the conference finals on, the NBA would prefer if every series went 6 games, obviously, because you get, regardless of format, you get 3 in each city.
Right.
But, and the only game out of all of these that made me kind of wonder about that for real, because there's usually one every year where I start wondering maybe.
Like the lottery. Go Hornets.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, that makes me wonder. So I had the lottery, and I also had the game 3 with the Celtics. I mean, they were living at the line after not seeing a free throw line.
Right.
And I know they don't care that much about what Doc Rivers thinks.
No, and I think that also comes with adjustments, with coaching. I mean, because the Thunder did the same thing. They, got more aggressive and moved the ball down low. Used Ibaka, used Perkins. So
kind of force the issues.
But when David Stern's involved, you always have to kind of scratch your head a little bit. I mean,
yes.
Well, if Stern's thinking ratings, which he ought to be for the NBA.
These are the wrong two cities.
He would rather have the Thunder win this series.
Yes.
People.
Yes, it's definitely a national following.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's a small market, but
it's not. Yeah.
The country likes the
They're
Thunder.
beloved. I'm just looking at Twitter. People other athletes in other sports tweeting their support.
Yeah.
For this young team. It's just the approach. Like I said last week, it's hard not to root for this team. I mean, they're young, they're selfish. Westbrook's now joining that, and they're just all around. There's no off the court issues that we know of.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of that, I think I just saw the ticker there. Blackman got a DUI.
Oops.
But I'm not going to judge him for that. We probably should have 7 each. So, but
what?
Right. But
I didn't know this was
right.
This was going to be one of those honest podcasts.
Right. No.
Damn
well,
you.
Hey, the 3 people that listen already know this, so it's not really. It's not. We lost a listener. We went from 5 to 4 to 3. But
Dolores what's her name? Yeah, Dolores.
She croaked. Fine. A good life. 200 years.
You killed her.
I pray for her.
She had a good run. That's horrible.
Hey, she was retired for 135 years.
Right.
So,
yeah, she actually birthed Willard Scott. It was Dolores.
Yes.
That's her maiden name is what you...
Her grandchildren would have served in World War I, but they were too old.
Exactly. At least. They fought the dinosaurs.
And won.
Right. Clearly.
Suck it.
That or nature, yeah, right. Well, there's... Side note, apparently they've used some DNA and they've cloned a woolly mammoth or something. They've got the
like a full-size one? Or
I don't know. But we can't cure cancer. But we're bringing back animals from thousands of years ago. I mean,
well, yeah. Sometimes you learn unexpected things from doing shit like that.
Right. Speaking of unexpected things,
Segway.
Lil Wayne shows up to Oklahoma City expecting courtside. They turned him down. He tweets, shaking my head, wouldn't let me in, go Spurs. Well, get a ticket, sir.
That was
really?
That was kind of the sticking point as far as the team was concerned, I think, that he lacked a ticket.
Right. But he made them look bad.
Yeah.
And he's not even a Saints fan, and he's a criminal, and to me, he's scum of the earth. But another reason for me to love the Thunder, I think this is a great move. I'm still smiling.
I try to think about things like this when you get... I understand a lot of people have entitlement issues. It's one of those human things. It becomes a worse thing.
And once this blows up, we'll be able to appreciate that feeling. We'll have the entitlement. Jonesin on the Whim can't get floor seats.
But
I got groupies.
Right?
Yeah. But there has to be a limit. 'Cause what do? You come limping up to the
And it's Oklahoma
stadium?
City. Does he have any history there? Other than he probably shot somebody.
What, you come limping up to the stadium? Hey, y'all, this is Weezy Baby.
Pretty much.
No, Weezy Baby, we kind of don't
Actually, what they
care.
reported was we didn't know what the hell he was saying.
That's not
Yeah, right,
exactly.
You want some popcorn?
Exactly. Go ruin another song somewhere else.
Like,
Jonesin.
how could you seriously think that? What did he? You gotta figure he probably showed up in the middle of the first quarter too. Like, hey, whenever I feel like getting here, y'all, let's go.
Yeah, so
Just
no go on that, and it plays itself out. No, I've never been a fan, and he's a New Orleans guy, and one of the few that you can have him. But on to they released this actually last week. We touched on it briefly. But we kind of went over the all defensive teams and the blunder and the voting on that. I wanted to...
The anomaly.
Right. I wanted to quickly go over the all NBA teams for this season. Just in they released 3, and it's usual suspects really. First team LeBron, his 5th straight, 6th overall. When did he miss one? First team.
How could he?
Because if it's 5th straight, it wasn't his rookie year that he missed. It's not like he's ever had injuries. That stumped me a bit.
Yeah, that's one of the listeners I have to look up for us.
Right. Yeah.
6-time overall. Yeah, because he's never had an injured season.
Right. So that's I don't know. Durant, of course, earns his 3rd, first time. I guess that's consecutive. Yes. Kobe, usual suspect. He becomes the active leader with 10, his 7th straight. Again, what injuries probably got him. Dwight Howard, 5th consecutive, and then Chris Paul is his 2nd in his career. Not consecutive. 2nd team. Kevin Love, which I thought was a little odd just because he missed about half the year.
Yeah.
So and I'll get to some notables with votes that didn't make it. And Derrick Rose with one of those, he didn't make it at all, and he got 10% of the votes that Kevin Love got. So I don't know if that's based on his position. I think he played just as much.
Yeah.
So I mean that was odd to me. Blake Griffin, also on 2nd team, whatever.
Make your jokes.
Bynum, Parker.
Although he had the fewest points of anybody.
Oh, good. Because he's poo. So 2nd team, Love, Griffin, Bynum, Parker, Westbrook. And then your 3rd team, Melo, Dirk, Tyson Chandler, who we mentioned in the defensive talk last week, and Dwayne Wade and Rajon Rondo. Any thoughts on that? That was mine. I think the notables who got votes, I had Rose with 44, last year's MVP. Whatever. Duncan actually got votes. Harden, Scola got 2 from Houston, and then Ibaka got 2. Who led the league in blocks, and just 2 votes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
weird.
Same as Gortat.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. He's in Phoenix now. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was my notables as far as votes,
and it's kind of weird because you have sports writers and broadcasters. So you talk, and in today's climate, you really don't have a lot of excuses to not be able to get your eyes on some games.
Right.
So it's not like you can say, oh, well, the fans are voting and they don't watch games, and whoever Sports Center tells them is good, that's who they think is good. But
right,
it's kind of weird.
And as far as the first team, I have no issues. I think
No, not at all.
it's probably about right.
I mean, I wonder if you got some homers here, giving their hometown guy a vote here, like the couple Indiana guys, Hibbert and Granger,
Getting votes,
a couple
yeah.
3rd place votes. I mean, were those Indiana writers?
Right.
I don't know, but yeah, I like the first team definitely.
Yeah.
2nd team, I got some issues.
Right. And Love got 16 first team votes.
Yes, he did.
And granted, he was an MVP candidate, but he missed 30 games or something, and that's this season. That was half the season.
Yeah.
So that's the glaring one for me.
Yeah, then I won't go too deep into my Dwight Howard hate, but I mean.
But who are you gonna put? At that position.
Yeah, I got to roll my eyes and put Bynum there or something to make it make sense.
Exactly.
And that's greedy. Even though Bynum had a really nice year.
He did, and he stayed healthy.
And in total votes, I mean, they weren't that far apart. I mean, Howard got more first team votes, but it's at 476 to 400.
Right. That's very close.
That's reasonably close.
Double the like you said.
Yeah, and then I guess I just still struggle with how Dwight appeared to be holding that whole team hostage, and still is.
Yeah, that's another guy that we thought we knew who, one of the good guys, and his image has been highly tarnished.
And maybe there's a lot more to it, but from what I can tell and what I've seen,
it
just looks bad.
Why wouldn't you want Ron Jeremy as your head coach? I don't understand that. I mean, that's odd to me.
He wants you to do what you're supposed to do all the time, and that's
it's Ron Jeremy, Van Gundy. I mean,
maybe a little locker room envy, but other than that,
right? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe he can't grow the facial hair and the chest. I've never seen
No.
Jeremy in action. I don't even know what we're talking about.
Wait, who?
Who exactly?
Is he like a philanthropist or something?
Right. Well, in some
Archaeology?
in some fields, he might be looked at as that. So to continue with the NBA, our top 11 this week. We went through. We were thinking, and we thought, which is what you do when you think.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully,
right? We try to. The 4 teams left in the playoffs are kind of defined by their big 3. You know, they're always referenced. You know, the big 3 in Oklahoma City, the big 3 in Miami, Boston, and then finally, last and least, San Antonio.
Hayden.
They're defined by that. And Bosh is hurt, so you take that off. There's 11. So that's our top 11 list this week. Another stroke of genius by the Jonesin on a Whim crew.
Yep.
This is us patting ourselves on the back.
Yes.
Well, you need to point out that Rondo replaces Allen in the big 3 as well.
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct.
Right, that's very true. Because especially this last season and before that, really, it's been a clear transition. And now I think he jumps to 1, but that kind of comes to this list. We were all in agreement. Well, I guess we'll count down. So still all in agreement. We'll go 11 to 1. Number 11, ranking these players best to worst currently. This is not their career, the embodiment of their career. This is currently today.
You're going from the bottom. So
Right.
worst to best.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So number 11, Tim Duncan. And if this was a career, he'd be 1. It's not. It's now. He's 11.
Yeah.
We all agree there. And
Yeah, we all had him 11.
right.
Yeah.
So, and I think the 3 y'all out there would agree. If you
Yes.
watch the NBA at all.
Just Dolores
Yeah.
did.
Right.
Yeah, and he's good, and he still has
Serviceable.
He has 3-minute stretches where he's awesome because he still has a few cases of down on the block. He can catch the ball and dribble twice and get the best shot of pretty much anybody in the league
Big
playing at
fundamental.
his size.
Shaq's best.
But the old is on it, so we'll see how it's going.
He's got it. No.
Yeah, and they clearly have figured out how to win without him doing much.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, like we mentioned.
And even arguably hurting the team.
Yeah, and I don't even know. He may have had it turned off too long. Maybe that's the problem.
Yeah.
This little celebrity basketball player schedule they've been on all season where 1 week they may not play, and now it's the playoffs. You got to play, especially with what they're doing now with this conference final. You got to play every other day,
Right.
which is going to hurt him even more.
No, that's and that was my big key to this series was the youth of that. But and San Antonio does have some young players too, just not seasoned and experienced.
Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they used to be a team that didn't score that much, relying a lot on defense.
A lot of
And
defense.
And this year, they had
hit the street. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've hit it running.
very good offense. They can, as a team, they can run, but it doesn't fit Duncan's style as well.
Yeah.
Ipso facto.
Yeah.
And we all had him 11. So we had a 3-way tie. What we did to clarify is we all 3 ranked the players 1 to 11, and then we took the average so that we only had to go through this once.
Yep.
So there's 3 tied for 8 with an exact average of 8, and that's Paul Pierce, James Harden, and Gonzo. I guess you can say his. I don't even want to say his name. So.
Manu Ginobili.
Is Gonzo. So, I actually had Pierce I had him the lowest on my list.
Yeah.
I had him 10th. You had him 8th.
Yep.
And you had him 9th.
I had him 10th. I had Pierce 10th.
So I had him 8th. So I had him the highest. Okay, I had him the highest. You had him 9th.
Okay, I had him 9.
So I had him the highest, which is odd. But he still can do it for him on a given night.
Sure.
That game 2 against the Hawks, they were dead. And I've mentioned this before. And he single-handedly, like Rondo did in game 2, but they didn't win that.
Mm-hmm.
They won the game when Pierce took over. And Pierce fouled out when Rondo had his huge game. But
Yep.
Which was a favor to them because I really feared them losing Game 7, watching that from front to back. and Pierce was going into it's 2005 and I'm the only guy we got mode, when sometimes he doesn't really need to do that, especially with Rondo.
No, yeah.
Because people are daring Rondo to shoot, and you put a game on the line, that guy's going to make shots. At this point, I trust that. Maybe not in the middle of the second quarter, but when the game's on the line, he's making those shots.
Or game 2.
Yeah,
I'd still defer to Pierce, but...
Sure, I mean, Pierce is still an important piece of the offense, but that's twice now, recent playoff games, where Pierce is fouled out late, and Rondo is just...
Stupid fouls.
Shifted into this overdrive. He's like, okay, I have to be the scorer now.
And it's a good thing for basketball players, I think. He doesn't think anymore. He just plays. And he just gets in that rhythm, Mark Jackson. And he just starts making jump shots.
Yeah, to hear, I know we're talking about Rondo when we're this is the Pierce section, but to hear Doc Rivers talk about Rondo is like really, really hard on himself.
He is.
For making mistakes during the games, and he'll get down and he'll get disengaged sometimes. And
right.
If he could stop that would be awesome.
Right. And you're right. We are talking about Paul, and Pierce he's a Hall of Famer. He's
Clearly,
second only to Bird, I think, or maybe in scoring. Or it's not even Bird. It's
for the Celtics.
Celtics, yeah.
It's like Havlicek.
You're right, exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. So he's in the rafters. He's a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Sharita loves him. We love Sharita. So shout out,
word,
sis. But so that's Pierce tied also with Harden, Gonzo. Harden, I had him 7th. No, I had him 7th. You had him 10th. You had him 9th.
I had him 9th.
So I had him the highest. I fear the beard. So
yeah, I fear the beard too. But it's something I saw during this run.
But don't base it on one. It's.
No, I think over the last. I'm talking about the playoff run. That's kind of what I'm thinking about.
Right.
I mean, and he's still been pivotal for them, but it's just a situation where the defense on the high level players is taking a toll on him.
Yeah,
and he's having to adjust to that, and that's just something you don't have on a night to night basis during the season. So if you get the thing that's great about him, of course, if you get somebody weak on the second team, it's over when you put him out.
Well, he's bigger than everybody, and he's quicker than you think.
Yeah.
And I love his nonchalantness. He just is business to him. He doesn't get overhyped. He doesn't get too low. He just plays basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a maturity about him.
He really does. And it's not just the beard.
He's 22.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You forget. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But there's a pace to his game that's he's like, okay, I'm in control here.
Yes.
And he's smooth.
Yeah. Still, I think he doesn't quite crack the top echelon.
No, these are all fair. These are all fair.
This is not putting him down.
No, not at all.
He's just.
He's among. Look at
I'm not ranking him as high
right.
as some of these other guys who I think.
Yeah.
Right. And then
proven it more. Yeah.
The last guy tied for 8th. My mother taught me if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I'll defer to you.
Let's see. Say his name. What do I have that's nice to say? Well, let's see. Well,
Gonzo.
I mean, he's been doing it for a while, and
it's been ugly for a while.
He was out for a while this season.
Yeah,
and doesn't seem to have missed a beat.
Yeah,
he's been out playing Harden. In this series,
he really has.
Well, he's got that whole, running into the lane, little 5-foot shot that I can't really describe, but
tape over my mouth. I'm not saying
it's tough to defend.
See, the thing about him this playoff run, especially,
he's balder.
Yeah,
wait,
well, that too. See, you're saying anything. See, the thing about him is,
what was that your mom said?
Oh, no, man, I'm trying. I'm biting my tongue open.
It's like the refs kind of dictate what kind of game he's gonna play, and if the refs look him in the face and they say, "Look, cut it out with the flopping because we're not gonna call it. Quit doing it." He can play without the flopping. It's just he's one of the most key players. He's one of the most key players in the league that goes with what the refs do.
He's got the Rush Christmas.
And he has a complete.
He's the Virgil.
Yeah, he has a complete unwatchable game if the refs are saying, "Hey, you want to flop? Oh, that's fine. We'll call it." Then he'll lay on the ground for 45 seconds. I promise you, man. But when you say don't do it, he can play without it.
Yeah.
He's good.
Don't get me wrong. He's annoying as hell because he's always asking for the calls. I think I tweeted last night during the game. I said, keep tapping your forearm, Ginobili, after you make a shot, looking at the ref.
Oh, he's forever whining.
I mean, geez.
Oh, my Lord.
It's just abrasive, but he's a good player. I had him 8th.
Yeah, no, I had him 10th behind his ugly teammate. Equally ugly teammate. Sorry, Tim. I don't want to
just ahead of his.
Right. And consensus, well, alone at 7. And y'all both had him 7th. I had him 9th. I believe that's right.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett. The big ticket, is that?
Big ticket.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll defer again now.
He's had a few flashback games where
No, he's carried them.
Yeah, where
More so than the other two in these playoffs.
Yeah, where the 18-foot jumper that people are starting to give him in the fourth quarter, he's actually making
them.
Mm-hmm.
He is.
And he hadn't been making them, which is why people started giving it to him. And then the other night, he went down low.
No, that changed the whole...
Yeah, and I mean, they disrespected him by letting LeBron kind of get down there with him, and he took offense to that, and he took it to the rack.
And
that's what he should have done.
That's what drives him. He needs that motivational, And
he needs to be called old, dirty, and over the hill, and then he gets excited.
Yeah, it's all true, but
it is. But you need to tell him to make him play.
Yeah, no, he's definitely. And
yeah, I think he had kind of a rough season, and may have trying to have been saving himself.
But they did that last year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago, was it?
But
2 years ago.
I think he stepped it up this playoffs.
Definitely. No, triple doubles or close to.
Yeah, a lot of double doubles, a lot of 2010s.
Yeah. He definitely. I don't remember him as a Timberwolf anymore.
Right.
I really don't.
Yeah. And he's still giving a lot on D too. I mean,
well, that's where I think all defensive he was.
Yeah.
He was on that list.
Yeah.
So he seems like such a good guy off the court. On the court, I mean, don't let your kids sit courtside.
They have to turn all
all he says is F this, F that. And again, it's a motivational tactic for him, and whatever. If that's what it takes, I guess.
I was listening to one of the Celtics Sixers games on ESPN radio. And so it was the Philly.
They can't bleep out everything.
Right. Well, you didn't hear Garnett, but it was funny to hear the Philly commentators, talking about Garnett.
Earmuffs.
And, they're biased because they're local.
Of course.
You expect that.
But it's obvious, too.
Yeah, it's cool. But I think Garnett grabbed a rebound and Jrue Holiday stole it from him as he was coming down and made a layup. And they were like, "Whoa, Jrue Holiday steals the ball from the monstrous Kevin Garnett." I was like, monstrous? What the?
Yeah, he's a twig.
Yeah.
And there he goes. So
they were busting out the hyperbole when
that's fair. And again, I as a Timberwolf, and he was there for
ever.
He was there. He was the big ticket.
Yeah.
He was there, and then Boston, he came in kind of like LeBron has with Wade and with Pierce. They kind of had to coexist, and they've done a much better job. I don't know how that people still are fooled with that. But it works every time, and God bless him.
Yeah.
He's coming up on our list.
Right.
Yeah. With 2, we jump ahead. We have 2 now tied for 5th. It's a big part of this series with Oklahoma City and San Antonio come down to these 2 guys.
The 2 point guards.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's Russell Westbrook and Tony Parker. I had Westbrook 5th. So did you two. We all had him 5th.
Yep.
It was consensus. Parker, you had him 3rd.
Yeah.
You and I had him 6th.
That's right.
So 3rd,
Balance
convince us. Let us know why.
Because he's the reason why they were undefeated up until now.
Ahead of Wade.
I struggle with that because I'm kind of hard on Wade based on some of those early playoff games. Because really, I feel really strongly that if Indiana didn't screw the pooch, the Heat would be at the house.
They had him on their heels.
Yeah, the Heat would be at the house
if
Indiana would have made, any layups.
Well, yeah.
Because they were playing too fast. They were trying to get 5 points out of every possession. Old guy stuff.
The Joel Anthony's the best actor in the Blood Diamond movies. So.
Yeah.
He's also a good around-the-rim defender.
So. He just blocks shots with his forehead.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it's not easy to go to the hoop on the Heat. It really isn't. And all it needs to do anything against them. They're great defensively.
If you get them spread out, you have a chance. But it's just tough. They had those guys on their heels when they were up 2-1. They came out in that game 4, and that game was theirs for the taking. Mm-hmm. And that was one of those first quarters. I just struggle with that so bad and Wade had a lot to do with that. And so I dropped him quite a bit off. That's why I had Wade all the way down at 6. And I mean, Parker's playing top 5. Maybe I'm overrating him because he's been underrated for a while, and maybe that I'm just kind of fighting.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just wanted, you had him. We both had him at 6, and you had him at 3.
Yeah.
And I think this is his high point in his career right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing.
He's come back down to earth, thank God. But
yeah.
That's why the series is now not at that too. Well, it's one of the many reasons. But that's a
Yeah.
big one, like you said. That
We'll see if the Spurs can adjust. And,
Right.
Open up some more shots for him because he was killing it in games 1 and 2.
Yeah.
No, he was, and that's where they did adjust. Is Perkins isn't going. He's not roaming out. He's not following
they're
Duncan
switching.
out. He's staying. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And he's using his 7-foot size. And Westbrook is another guy we had here.
Yeah,
we all had him 5th.
Yeah, and it's hard to argue against him being at least as high as we have him. I really struggle with putting him at 5, but that just says a little bit more about what I think of the people that are higher up than him.
Exactly.
Because right around when you start talking top 5 out of this 11,
This is
some good players.
This is a hell of a
a good sample for the league.
This is a hell of a 5.
MVP conversation.
Right.
From here on up.
And if he continues this unselfish play, this won't be the only title they get. They're going to win. No, that's right. They're going to win several.
I heard you.
LeBron's screwed. So
Not
we're down.
one, not two.
We have right, and they won't say that because they're not like that. And I love the geek chic look. I'm going to get glasses tomorrow. I'm not even kidding.
I hope you don't buy any red pants.
At least
No red pants.
I love these kids, and I want to be a kid with them. I want to win with them. I want to do everything with them.
It looks like they're going to go from the press
I'm telling
conference
you
to
I already told them.
they're going to go help get Apollo 13 back to Earth or something like
Not
that.
everything. Right. No, I mean
60 scientists.
I already told them. But and I missed this with we were talking about Gonzo earlier, and I forgot I had this, but
I'm not only the heckler president, I'm also a client.
got that just for him. But so
Now that's not his fault.
oh well. Sorry for you ball listeners. I feel for you, but not Ginobili. He needs to rub some Japanese cream on there or something, or shave your head. Good lord.
Wasabi? Or
Man,
You
whatever.
call him ugly already, and you want him to shave his hair? Good grief.
Can you imagine
Or could it be worse?
the cue ball?
Yes.
Well, that's just bad. Okay, I don't want to.
White men do not like to shave
Again,
heads,
nice things to say.
with the exception of Patrick Stewart.
You've broken that rule.
So, final 4 on our list.
all right.
Tied for 3rd. Rajon Rondo, who we've touched on. Consensus 4th on all our lists, but based on how they averaged out. Mm-hmm. He was tied with Dwayne Wade,
For 3rd.
who Stefan and I had with 3, and you had him at 6. I guess swapping him and Parker.
Yep.
That's what we all did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rondo's huge, man. I mean, they
No argument there.
Mm-hmm.
completely
That's what his
huge.
wife said.
Well, I'm not talking to her, but this whole concept of him not being able to make these jump shots and then having him show up in games, making jump shots when they count, making threes when they count, is perfect Celtics ball. Like, unexpected hero.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up with what you've seen, but this is what you need from this guy in this situation, and this is what he brings to the table.
And they lost that game.
Yeah. Now,
Yep.
now the ball fake that he keeps getting people with, I feel like that's a pickup game, neighborhood guy.
No, it's certain, but he
like
does
you
it
play
once a
with
game.
him, like it's the guy you play with
And
all
it
the
was
time.
to Joel Anthony, I think, or Haslam that
Haslam, yeah.
put on the face.
Yeah, I almost put Rondo ahead of Wade, but
I thought about it too. I must admit.
I didn't want to rely too heavily on what I've seen the last couple weeks, which is, okay, Wade has a great
Dominance.
game, and
Yeah.
but Rondo's been
Dominant.
taking it to another level. But I'm hoping he continues, of course. But yeah, I stuck him 4th. Right behind Wade.
That's consensus. And the last 2, I think most people would have these not only 1 and 2, and of this sample, but of the league.
Yeah.
And Durant is 2nd, and the King, I guess, LeBron.
LeBron.
He's the
Yeah.
It's either the Legay or the Real or the Lebanon. We don't know.
He's the 30, 12, and
But
8
he's the
every
best
night.
player in the league,
Yeah.
top to bottom, talent wise. Best player we've seen in a while.
Yeah. I mean, I went Durant first because I'm a little bit biased.
I'm hugging you right now.
So that's why I went Durant first. But when you look at James, and not even just so much the numbers, he's a guy. The numbers are ridiculous too. But watching the game, you would think the numbers would be even more outrageous than they really are because he gets 28 and it doesn't look like you're like, when did he get these points? And then you start thinking up, layup, dunk,
Put
3-pointer,
back.
put back. Like he's always there.
Yeah.
And
His
when
IQ is unmatched.
When he's playing well,
Basketball
you think
IQ.
about him Cleveland-wise, those games that he carried them
People
to.
forget they went to the finals.
Yeah,
I mean,
with nothing.
right. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Him on a sack of groceries. I mean,
Lost to these Spurs.
yeah, whatever.
Us.
Yeah. Sorry. Didn't mean to be kept in bring down there.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
But
Mrs. Gonzo?
if he had a clutch gene and he may get it, oh my! I mean,
Yeah, it could still happen.
right. He's unprecedented one, and even without that gene, Durant does have that gene,
And that's kind of what led
Right,
to
right,
my
right.
decision
But-
outside
right,
of the bias
right.
because
Well, with 5 seconds left,
Yeah,
you'd
because-
rather Durant than LeBron.
yes, because
he
Right
becomes
now,
a Legay.
Yeah.
because
the Lebanon.
a lot of these games with the Heat, they've really gone out of their way to try to not end up in these one-shot situations because they know they're not equipped to deal with it
Right.
yet. So you end up in the first part of the fourth quarter, they say, okay, I'm bigger, I'm in better shape, let me put the foot on the gas and let's get us a lead so we don't have to get that 5 seconds
And-
shot situation.
Right. And I'll defend LeBron because a lot of times when he does pass late in games for the last shot, the guy's wide open.
Yeah,
And it's the right
play.
pass.
That's the right move, yeah.
And they missed the shot.
And
then
missed
it comes down on
Yeah,
him.
you want him to force it like Carmelo and Kobe do. I mean, I think ESPN the magazine had an article. It may have been covering last season, not this season, but had like clutch shots, like game tying or to win the game in the last possession. How many points per possession? Various stars were getting. Durant and Westbrook were actually at the top.
I'm assuming
And-
Kobe is far down.
And
that
Kobe
list.
was way down. Carmelo was the worst.
And this is something that in some of the online communities you hear a lot
Talk
about
about that.
about Kobe
that.
being far down that list, and Kobe is considered Captain Clutch. And we talked about that a few weeks ago. It's
Right.
like, yeah, he's considered clutch, and I'd still want him with the ball, but statistically, it just doesn't match up. But
Right.
in some of those situations, he's just taking some of the worst shots you've ever seen in your life.
And he's not 19 anymore, or even 25.
But it's defensible for the coach. He can say, "Oh, we got the ball to our star player,
Right.
And
Yep.
he had the last shot, so he gave us a chance to win."
And then the player could say, "We went down, and I missed it. I'll take it."
right,
Yep.
yeah.
And they just kind of get away with that. But you look at Durant, people talk about his demeanor, and I see it changing for the good when these games are on the line.
He gets serious as
He's
a mofo.
he's having a run similar to, say what you want, last year with Dirk. There were situations where
No, I'm
the Mavericks were not in situations to
compliment.
win some of those games, and Dirk just went off.
yeah. What let them lose last night?
Yeah.
Last night, Durant.
Yeah.
You could have put the Hulk on him. He was making these
Yeah.
jump shots.
Finally saw that. My goodness. Also.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Foul on the Hulk.
See, you told us to eat a
Again.
rib. You needed to see the Avengers.
And I did it.
We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Durant. I mean, I love Durant, but
Where did he go to college?
yes, the University of Texas at Austin, just for 1 year. But
Yes, the Bears.
what I like seeing, I mean, I think he's shown that killer instinct in the fourth quarter his whole career.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been that long of a career yet, but still. But
he's
he's
come a
also
long
showing
way.
like little things like the long arm D. They put him on Kobe
gets a steal late, yeah.
and he shuts him down. And I'm like, oh, geez, I didn't know he could do this.
Yes.
I agree. I've
he's-
fallen in love with him all over
Yeah,
again.
he's-
in these playoffs.
Yeah.
I really have.
And
And
that's-
that's no secret to
Yeah. And
to
that's-
y'all of this podcast.
Right.
And that's
For the 4
all
year.
the stuff you like to see from star players. That spot, that man on defense that's just excellent. I mean, that's what gets you number one on the list when you ask me from top 11 and you give me 5 minutes to do it because I fell off the face of the earth for about a week. But I show up.
Open.
Yep, that's absolutely. And I'm not mad about that. But
He broke other kind of ribs.
yeah,
He got a rib, but it was other ribs.
y'all are ribbing
The
me
salsa
about
flavor.
broken.
Go, giving the ribbon. Oh man, where's the
Some
drum?
Mexican rub on
Where's
the
the rim
ribs.
shot?
Y'all are ribbing me about broken ribs. But yeah, I mean that's that spot on defense. That's saying give me this guy. That's that star maker stuff. And you're talking about a guy under 25 still.
Right. And under 24. I think.
That's excellent.
I am excited for the next 10 years of whatever this is going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
hope he doesn't, and I don't think he will, but because I kind of thought of Dwight Howard the same way, not as a player, but as a person, at this point in his career. And he's shown us something different than what we thought. So I'm just hoping it doesn't turn to that. And
I don't see
think
it right
will.
now.
Yeah, you play long enough to get to the free agency stage.
And he has though. He's already re-upped.
Yeah.
So he's been in the league. He's this.
And with
50-year
Howard,
league, I guess.
with Howard, there's got to be the frustration of not having won yet.
Well, and Howard wants to be a movie star.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant wants to be an NBA champion.
that is true.
So
And then if he
that's
gets
the
an
difference.
occasional commercial out of it, he just does it. And
Right.
he's not really worried.
Exactly.
Or at least that's the impression I get.
Right. No, and
Doodle jump. Really?
that's and he's in
Yeah.
he's in that small market. He's in that
Yeah.
small city. And somebody finally said it. I think it was John Barry who we were talking about earlier, and it made it easy for me to understand why I love this team so much. The way they're built, the way they play, the fan base, it's Sacramento Kings all over again.
Oh,
Whoever was there.
don't hurt me
So,
with that.
but they have a guy. They have a clutch guy.
Yeah.
They have a finisher.
And they're not playing against the early 2000s.
Well, they're not playing
Phil
against the
Jackson
refs.
Lakers.
They're not playing against when they were fixing games. This guy's in jail for fixing games. So
My
I don't want to drop it, but that's why I love this team. I mean, it's a small city. They're
Building it up
they're
from
the
year
show.
to year. They're
Yeah.
adding pieces.
The foreign general manager
Yeah, they
doing the right movement, right moves.
scoop
and
up.
Great draft.
Yeah.
they scoop up Fisher for nothing. They just catch him off the street like hitchhiking, saying, "Hey,
And
I want to be on a team."
Game one,
And once every 3 weeks, he's gonna have
right? That
maybe 2.5
Yeah, they
weeks.
won game one. And
He has
almost
one
game.
more game.
He's
they
helped them
play
from time
long
to time. I mean,
But anytime he can beat the Spurs, but they're not playing him as often now. They're playing Cephalosha more, which was
which is fair.
necessary.
yes.
So-
I guess the petition made it around.
Right,
yeah.
right. And then they made the adjustments. So to retract or
Recap.
recap,
Yeah.
11,
retract.
I'm not
11,
retracting it.
No,
I just said.
it's out there.
11, Tim Duncan, tied for 8th. Paul Pierce, James Harden, and Gonzo in no particular order, but sure, that order. 7, Kevin Garnett.
Bias.
5th, tied for 5th, Russell Westbrook, Tony Parker in that order. Tied for
Hayden.
3rd, Rajon Rondo, Dwayne Wade, and then 2, Durant, LeBron. 1, Durant did get a first place vote, and surprisingly not for me.
How about that?
So
Yep.
now, flipping
Clutch
the
counts.
page, on to entertainment news,
Excellent.
where we try to talk a little bit about goings on of the week. This week, a story was released that there was a porn film made at the LA Coliseum, and oddly, it happened in 2001. So this is just being released.
Yeah, what the hell they've been holding on to this one for?
Yeah, they didn't really, and it's obvious in the movie that it's the Coliseum.
And is calling it a film an insult to the word film?
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, you're going.
We were crediting actresses last week for nudity, so I don't,
That is
Hey.
true.
maybe not. The title is The Gangbang Girl number 32. I heard not as good as 31, but better than
Is it
33.
really the 32nd in
Yes.
the series?
Yes.
Holy crap!
Better than 33, not as good as 31. It's a hardcore porn, so that means anal.
I can't imagine.
Is that what
No. I think it just means showing everything.
I thought she's like a gangbanger, like tough girl from the streets.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, it's LA, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Crip, blood, whatever. But it's 40 minutes of group sex on the gridiron turf.
That's a long time.
Wow.
And they're claiming to know that the officials of the stadium are claiming to not know anything about it.
Sure.
And since then, the general manager has resigned and has been indicted from other like corruption issues.
The GM of the Coliseum.
I believe.
All
Yeah.
right.
And the plot of the movie, to the extent that there is
there's a
one,
plot.
yes, revolves around a football team and a cheerleader. Hence singular cheerleader. Hence gangbang.
Okay.
And one of the star of the film, I was just in awe that we were at the Coliseum. I've made movies for about 20 years. I've done a lot of things.
So she's
I don't believe
31.
that.
And a lot of people. But that one really stands out. I mean, who gets to have sex on the Coliseum floor?
Floor.
It's the field, right?
Yeah, it's
floor stood out to me
pretty
too.
sure it's
I'm glad
grass.
it stood out to you as well. Oh, shit.
How high was she?
Right. And for 20 years. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she's 31.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
Oh, at least. Well, hopefully.
Pedophiles.
To make it even more interesting, in the movie credits, it was reportedly shot on September 16th, which was right in the middle of football season. It's not like they did this, in spring or winter, or I guess winter would suffice, but not the summer during football season.
That's kind of bold.
And that's 5 days after 9/11.
Very true.
Wow.
So were there any games that weekend?
No, the Trojans, which is fitting at this point, given it's a porn and there were no condoms involved.
Oops.
Now there probably are.
For a game,
played the
man?
week.
Jeez.
They played the week before that, and you're right, didn't play again for 2 weeks.
Okay.
So there was no. I guess there were no games that weekend following. So, but I guess September 11th was a Tuesday. So this would have been a Saturday, right?
16th.
Wow.
Am I doing that right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So in honor of the football team playing.
I guess. Yeah, they're like,
They,
hey, 9/11 happened. This is an opportunity.
Right.
We can use the football stadium for a porno.
Right.
Why didn't I think of that?
Well, my biggest issue is why 10 years? Why now?
Yeah, why now? Yeah.
They're just now realizing that this happened. That's surprising. Even in LA, it's a bit surprising. So that's just something I wanted to bring to everybody's attention.
Yes.
I'm sure people have heard about it, but throughout the week, because it broke early in the week, and it was national news, and they did interview Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, who were players at the time, and they were involved. So they were in the movie.
In the movie.
So,
All right.
yeah, that's not true, but because they're lame. But
Yeah, IMDb is not giving me much on Gangbang Girl number 32 here. So oh well.
this 31 was the prize winner.
That was the box
the
office
prize winner.
smash.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That won all your porn awards.
We got Alabang Girls.
Yeah. Well, is that in Alabama?
Girl
or
Gangbound.
Mobile or Tuscaloosa? It's just a recruiting trip for a.
Yeah, let's say yes. Ooh, zombie ninja gangbangers.
Ah,
What'd you say?
Let's hit the store.
Rating 1.8
We had
out
sex
of
with
10.
you. You didn't even know it. We're ninjas. You know?
Let's take 3 things we like and throw them together.
Yes. Just add. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But moving on.
Fair enough.
There was a lot of entertainment news. Well, a lot of, I guess, criminal activity this week. So maybe not entertaining for people that don't live in these certain cities.
Yes.
A lot of zombie stuff, which has been touched on enough. I don't want to people eating faces, but this story stood out to me, and I just wanted to get Art's opinion on it because it's Kool-Aid, and I'm not racist, I swear.
Oh,
But
thank goodness.
Too late.
but
Ship sailed.
two Detroit teens.
I have lots of black friends.
Right, yeah, my best friend. Yeah. But two Detroit teens got in a gunfight over who made the best Kool-Aid. This has ever happened to you.
Things get ugly when Kool-Aid is involved. Clearly.
This isn't even the first time, by the way.
No gunfight. People still drinking Kool-Aid like that?
I didn't think so. Not the
I
Crystal
didn't think so
Light.
either.
maybe
I thought
the-
people had moved on to Crystal Light.
That, or they bottle
Hawaiian
stuff.
Punch.
Yeah. Well, you know the Sun Kiss, the orange drink.
Maybe Sun Kiss.
Yeah.
I do remember it was important. You wanted it flavorful, but not with like the sediment on the bottom. You didn't want to overdo it.
Yeah. Well, see, it depends on where you are.
And I'm just speculating. They did not release that these were two brown fellas, but one of the suspects did drive off in a purple Impala.
Impala.
So it's just incriminating. I don't know.
That's probably black people.
I'm not one for stereotypes.
It's
but
Kool-Aid.
It's true.
It's Kool-Aid and purple Impalas. Come on,
Right.
these are black people.
And
I'm
it's
sorry.
Detroit. There's your third. There's your trifecta.
Is it that bad in Detroit?
I think it's worse. Yeah.
Detroit has some problems.
Why do the team is bad? Whatever.
Well, maybe not the Lions, but no. This is not the first time because Florida, where everything happens, the Kool-Aid fights, the zombie attacks,
The shooting of
everything.
teenagers.
There was
by
a woman
neighborhood
in
watchman.
right Pahokee, Florida. I'm guessing. I'm not there.
Yeah, that sounds right.
There you
yeah.
go. All right, I've got to defer. Was arrested for domestic assault after she had a fight with her brother because someone drank his Kool-Aid. I know you don't change a black man's radio, but I guess you also don't drink his Kool-Aid.
I feel kind of strongly about Minute Maid fruit punch when I used to drink that, but that's but you can get some more Kool-Aid. Like,
It's sugar. I mean, it's powder.
they're not out of Kool-Aid. Wow.
It was baffling. Mm-hmm. But we did talk last week about. Oh yeah, there it is.
That did not sound like it.
It just bust through the wall and
I think that was
he's
the
the
guy
judge and the jury, whatever it did.
that was probably the same guy who made the Chewbacca ringtone.
Yeah,
That,
the revolting vomit ringtone. But we mentioned last week that DC Comics was going to reveal a gay open. Well, they're going to come out of the phone booth is how they worded it. But there was going to be a current superhero, not so current, I don't think. It's Green Lantern was who was the
original Green Lantern.
right. So not the character that Ryan Reynolds played, but a much older, gayer, blonder Green Lantern, Green Lantern. So apparently we thought that the Ryan Reynolds character was the only human because there's a lot of Green Lanterns, but apparently not.
Yeah, they're saying Hal Jordan's the one we all know.
Yes.
But there's also Guy Gardner.
Isn't that him?
Nope. Jon Stewart, not to be confused with The Daily Show.
No.
Kyle Rayner. And Alan Scott is the one who's
Because I would have gone
the
with
gay one.
the two G's, the Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, the gay Guy Gardner.
Right. I mean, it
the
just
alliteration.
flows. A lot of G's there.
Nope, they're apparently going to relaunch
G's.
the Alan Scott Green Lantern style as a younger gay version of himself. So.
Wow. Well, I respect it. Your decisions, but so but no, that wasn't actually. There was speculation that it might be the Green Lantern, but I thought the Aquaman or a female superhero seemed more logical. But a Green Lantern we've never heard of also makes sense.
Wonder Woman's just an exhibitionist. The invisible jet. Everybody can look in.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'd like to look in the invisible jet, but as long as it's the movie character. But we try to do a Twitter segment every week, and the tweet world didn't have a lot going on. Obviously, we'll have the Sheik tweets, but beyond that, I couldn't find many interesting tweets to talk about.
Little tweet list this week.
But maybe we have a little bit. This one actually poses a question for based on our NBA talk from earlier, Chris Broussard polled 22 NBA executives asking about who they would, if they had to choose, if they ran Thunder, if they had to choose just Thunder themes, because why not? They had to choose out of Harden or Westbrook to trade. And 14 actually said Westbrook. 14-8.
Well, for who?
For to trade Westbrook, yeah.
Whatever he's worth.
Yeah. Oh, for who? Okay.
Yeah. Bag of chips.
Well, you should be able to get more than that.
Yeah.
Obviously, but it's just an interesting question, I think.
Yeah, it's a very focused question on kind of a vague topic. Who would you trade? This guy or that guy?
Right. Yeah. You're right.
Are they going to be forced to trade one of these guys soon, or?
No. Well, it will probably come down to some salary at some point. Salary issues at some point. But no, the way that Westbrook played in the last 2 games, I think you need to repoll, because if he could continue this unselfish approach and he quietly does average like 7 assists. I mean, he takes 30 shots, but
yeah, the ratio of
playoffs,
shots to assists is not there, and I'm not yet giving him the unselfish tag.
No, I'm not either.
After a couple games,
no, not at all. It's certainly not enough. But if it gets him through this series, God bless it.
Yeah.
And that's just food for thought. I don't know if we want to dive into that too much. But the funniest tweet I found, other than Sheik tweets, which were kind of down this weekend too, Seth MacFarlane, Family Guy fame.
Yes.
He tweeted, it's a quote, "The world is under siege and can only be saved by strong white Americans." And is this said by the KKK and or the Avengers? Which, when you think back on the movie,
that's a good point.
Kind of makes sense. Because even the Hulk green in his human form white. So, but just food for thought. And that's another funny one. And just some Sheik tweets. There was some Jose Canseco hate as usual. I like a couple of these. This is the Sheik tweeting directly to Jose Canseco. "I make sure every player in baseball swing one swing at your balls with the baseball bat till you taco crap from your eyes." And crap is SHIT.
Keeping it clean.
Right. And just
super clean.
Just 23 minutes ago at the Jose Canseco, "Shut the F up, mother effer." Just random. And this is another good one. Another one to Jose Canseco. "I make Carmelo rape you worse than the Tito Santana."
Has Jose been responding to these or something? Or
I haven't seen any response. He's taking the high road.
He doesn't know what that is. He's not taking the high road.
I don't know if he can read English.
He's just ignoring it.
And lastly, we'll keep the Sheik tweets this segment a little smaller. Another one to Canseco. "I would beat the F out of you and all your family and take shit on you and make you eat shit taco, you Mexican babroni." Jabroni I've heard of. What's this babroni? Is that like a Mexican jabroni?
I'm not up on that one.
An Iranian jabroni? Babroni.
I'm at a loss on that one.
Yeah.
I was hoping for some Thunder Love tweets from the Sheik, but he hadn't been in the last couple of games. He's kind of taken off, so none of that. So we digress, and for lack of a better segue. Move on to our favorite segment. I know Stefan's favorite segment.
Yeah, you got me.
That doesn't count as stumping it.
Oh, right, yeah.
The Stump Stefan segment, where I need to find my notes here. So the first one, this is 2 questions this week because I wanted to make light of this story, just throw it in his face because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, thanks.
But
thanks in advance.
So it's comical, but it has a lot of twists, and I'll get into that after you answer this correctly.
Oh, okay.
This is your first question. It's simple. You'll get it. What former Red Sox general manager tweeted a half-naked picture of himself to a 27-year-old this week?
Well, Oh, God, I hope it's Theo Epstein because all their other former general managers.
Oh, sorry, former manager.
Former manager.
Manager
Of the Red Sox.
Right.
Oh, okay.
27-year-old. He tweeted to a 27-year-old.
To a half-naked picture of himself.
He's in a towel, so he's topless.
So at least it's
that counts as half naked.
It's at least the good half. From
You're thinking
my
too hard.
perspective.
There hasn't been many recently.
Francona.
Yes, Terry Francona.
Okay.
You haven't seen this?
No, I haven't.
27-year-old. So this guy, Huffington Post reported it. Let's call him Rob, is what they did. He emailed them and said, apparently, Francona's not too smart. He's texting pictures to my girlfriend with just a towel.
Uh-huh.
But as this story moves on, Rob wasn't the one that was very smart because Francona's hitting that. So
I would hope so.
or he will be shortly if he hasn't yet. She got his number like the week before, and Rob knew this. We'll call him Rob.
Oops.
And they've been tweeting back and forth. And if you Google this, she sent him a nice pic of her breasts. So
that's better.
So good cleavage shot. So he's getting some love back.
That's much better than having to think about former Red Sox general managers,
right,
without their shirts on.
The beauty of this, right? But the beauty of this is this Rob guy kept updating, with making him look worse and worse each time. I'm upset. Now she's replying. Now she's sending pics. He got her number.
And this is just being aired out.
Yeah, it's right. It just makes him look
on
worse
Twitter.
And worse. And to quote him, "I'm so pissed," and that's it. That's the quote.
Oh, yeah.
So
I am not amused.
So Francona's apologized. I don't know why.
Yeah, my bad.
He's pulling some 27-year-old tail.
Yeah, he's got
no apologies, sir.
He's got to be 50. Yeah,
he's 53.
Yeah.
So which was your second question? No, it's not.
Ah, damn.
But your actual question, I'm still working on. But we'll just talk through it, I guess.
All right.
It might be several questions. We'll see how. Maybe I'll go until I can stump you.
Well, now I have no idea what to expect.
Right. Well, Jamie Moyer.
Oh dear.
Sent for assignment this week. Sent to assignment by the Rockies.
Designated for assignment. Yes.
There you go.
Gonna need a beer.
What do they call that in hockey? Plus minus. What do they call it? Plus minus. Okay.
They call it cut.
Designated for exactly. That's exactly what it means.
Sent to Winnipeg.
Right.
Or no, wait. They have a pro team now.
So, well, but designated for assignment. I assume you know his age.
Is he still 49?
49.
Yeah.
Ding. So we got one right on
right.
Ding.
Yeah.
That means he's up to quota. You gave him 2. He's got to get. He got to get credit.
Well, I asked the first question wrong with the Theo Epstein.
Oh, GM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops, yeah.
Makes sense. It's 27.
And you put a horrible image in my mind. Not that Theo is an ugly guy, but all their other GMs. Yeah.
Right. No doubt. So let's see. So he got he's still 49.
Yep.
I wanted to get into career, but I think that might be easier. So, do you know his record when he got designated for assignment?
Crap.
So that's a no.
No, I don't.
So you wouldn't know his ERA, and you wouldn't know how many starts he made.
I could guess.
Okay, well, let's see.
Let's see.
Do you know? So he played for.
He played for what 25 years. So a little less than that.
24.
24. Okay.
How many teams?
Ooh. I'll guess.
Just think through it. Wait.
Well,
Talk through it. Just list them.
I don't know all the teams that he played for. I'd be, kind of thinking of a few and.
Who drafted him?
No idea.
No, it's been 24 years.
Yeah, at least.
What's his first name? No, I'm kidding.
Now we're said it was suspense.
It was such a suspenseful. Did he make about 700 starts?
That I don't know. Sure.
Oh, okay.
I don't. That's the one thing I don't have.
Oh, okay.
Wait. Well, I have his win-loss record.
Okay.
And it's south of that, but you don't always get the...
Yeah, he's got no decisions. I mean,
Yeah, he's 269 and 209.
269, 209. So he might have...
Probably, yeah.
650, 700. He
Right.
might,
I think he was the first to win at 49.
Yeah.
Since they mention a milestone, but they don't mention what it is.
Okay. So it's...
Right. So it's gotta be that,
other than
right?
being old, yeah.
Right.
And his ERA, I don't know, about 380.
Career?
Yeah.
Higher.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of, yeah.
405.
2.5.
425.
Yeah.
That's worse than I would have expected.
No, I agree.
I guess he
stayed in the league 24 years.
Yeah, I mean, he saw both hitting heavy years and pitching dominant years, in the league. So,
right.
I mean, he pitched through the steroid era, so that was advantage to the
it's
hitters.
Good for 3.5 at least.
Yeah.
And he when he got designated, he was 2-5 with a 5.7 ERA, and it was 10 starts.
Yeah, for Philly, right?
No.
Oh no, he was Philly last year. So
no, he was hurt all last year, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Okay.
After missing all of 2011 while recovering from reconstructive elbow surgery.
Jeez.
I thought he played last year too.
I can't believe he had reconstructive elbow surgery at that
49.
age.
What do you reconstruct?
Oh God.
But he pitched 24 years, 7 teams. Started with the Cubs.
Okay.
And then the Rangers. And then St. Louis.
Pitched for Seattle for a while too, right?
Baltimore, Boston, Seattle.
Oh, Boston too.
And Philadelphia. And finally with the Rockies, where he's designated for assignment.
Oh, 5.70 ERA in Colorado is not that bad.
That's fair. I mean, he was actually started off, I think, 1-0 or something.
Oh.
So, I don't know.
Downhill from there.
But maybe I won that week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought baseball, I figured, I stand to lose, with the baseball.
Well, current baseball, I'm not as good at.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Fun fact for me.
I'm like the guy in Memento. I can't make new memories.
Great movie.
Yes.
But,
There you go.
Well, for the weekly tribute, I was gonna do gonna mention that TMZ executive producer Jim Parator died, but
oh my God, who the hell cares?
that's harsh.
That's harsh.
And I just love using that part of the soundboard. No, he actually had a great career, and he suffered a heart attack riding a bike in France, because that's what rich people do. They cycle in France.
Yep.
But I won't speak ill of the dead. So I retract that. Peter Griffin said it, actually. I didn't. But Richard Dawson did die today from Family Feud fame. I always thought he was pretty memorable. Every show he would kiss the female participants in the mouth, do a little groping. He basically, until you stopped him. And
yeah, he would keep kissing them. He'd take more than one.
I think he's been parodied in many shows. A lot of the cartoons, maybe even Family Guy, kind of did a touch on that. But
had a role in The Running Man.
He was an actor before,
and he was a game show host.
Right.
Yeah, he was playing himself.
But he was on.
But he was the villain.
Unlike
which
Cold
was
Blood.
awesome.
Oh wait, he was.
And he wasn't even a cyborg.
Right. But he was on Gunsmoke or some show for.
Oh really?
And like one of those big. He's British actually. He didn't sound British as a host.
No way.
But he was on. He had a long stint, maybe Hogan's Heroes, something like that. Hogan's Heroes or.
Ooh, you might be right.
Yeah,
that actually sounds familiar.
I think that's what it was. But I even hid the accent on the Family Feud. I didn't know it was British at all.
Yeah, he sounded kind of country.
You did, like art on these podcasts.
Yes.
I was going to leave it alone. But
Nobody sounds that country.
No, I don't even really notice it. I know I have the accent now that I've listened to these podcasts, but so I was gonna do another tribute, but I'll post it on the page. I don't really want to read anymore, so it's a story that I want out there, so I will post it, and this just more for it to get out there. It's about Jack Twyman. It's a really cool story. He passed this week, and
Played in the 60s?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think more importantly, he was one of the better friends of all time for what he did, and a teammate of his was paralyzed during a game, and he became his legal guardian and cared for him, and a great basketball player, but seems like greater man, and I wanted that to be known. Not lessening the story at all. If there's anything, I mean, we could talk about anything at this point. We're well under our 2 hours, so if there's any free topics things that happened this week that we haven't touched on, or
Well, if my internet wasn't crashing, I could play more Jon Lovitz jokes, but no.
more? Did we get a first?
More Eddie's.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, North, you provided me a restaurant list, which I've started to deal with.
Really? Good.
And,
I was going to ask you about that.
I went to Liberty Kitchen earlier.
Great seafood.
And got involved in the brunch. And Chico service was awesome. Got there about 1 o'clock. Food was outlandishly good.
It's a very creative menu. It's also BRC. It's the same chef. And I know Josh Samples he does a lot of he does the beer menu and the alcohol. I actually saw him last night. We stopped in the BRC, and between the two of them, I can't recall the chef's name, but Josh is from Boston, and the chef's from New York, and together creatively, it's good times and great food.
Yeah.
They send a lot of pics. They do the pics on Facebook, and yeah, Liberty Kitchen was a good call. Great seafood, and
I appreciate you.
Get through that list. No, it's easy. There's so
Yeah.
many options here in Houston for great food, but that's a good start for sure. Speaking of that, I don't think Liberty Kitchen will be our sponsor next week, but I do. Other than the jam, the jelly, the
Smuckers.
Other than Smuckers, next week we'll have
18 fruit flavors.
We'll have another. We'll have real fake sponsors next week. So.
Hey.
I do promise that. And the three of y'all out there listening, feel free to send your comments, questions, your topic ideas, anything that you want us to talk about. We'll probably ignore it, but
yes.
But we just want to know that they're actual listeners, and that just put that on the Facebook page. The www.facebook.com/Jonesin on a Whim.
We did get some feedback that we used that one of our listeners said they couldn't hear me very well, and I was leaning back to
right. So
podcast.
no, we do use it.
So I'm leaning forward now, and
right.
hopefully my voice comes through clear as a bell.
Exactly, when he does his non-Jon Lovitz jokes. We did.
How
no, but
awkward.
we will listen. We need help with this, as you can tell. I'm stumbling here right now. So nothing else.
And we're just
Stefan,
watching
we went over to Jon Lovitz.
I could share one experience recently. I attended a wedding, blessed event of a co-worker of mine I've known for several years.
This is last Saturday, right?
Yeah, and didn't get a chance to talk about it last week, but toward the end, they're doing the toasts, and this woman
with the Smuckers or just
no smokers,
Smuckers,
no smokers, no, just a clean toast. Yeah, best man, and I guess you got to know that I should probably change the names to protect the innocent.
Good job.
The husband,
call him Rob,
the new couple, Rob and Robette.
Creative, good creativity there.
They're both divorced once.
Round 2.
Yes.
0 for 1.
Right. So the DJ gets them all out on the dance floor and gives the mic to the best man, and he gives this great heartfult toast. It was just really nice.
The wife?
Nope. No. It was awesome. And then
could have also
wait for the punchline.
Then this Lovitz.
The maid of honor gets up there, and I'm just ignoring you now.
Fair enough. Flashes everybody.
Gives another great toast. Keeps her clothes on the whole time. Awesome.
News story.
The DJ says, anybody else want to give a toast. Yeah, keep playing your crickets. And for a minute, nobody moves, so the DJ starts to take the microphone back to the booth. And then I see out of the corner of my eye, everybody's got this drunk uncle.
Everybody.
That's at the weddings.
At least one.
And I can see him staggering to his feet. And he's looking for the mic. He comes out in the middle of the dance floor, and the mic's already gone.
So,
he's
so
just
everybody has
looking
a drunk
around.
uncle or Brad.
Yeah, or Brad. Brad could do this too. Yes.
Yeah.
But he's asking for the mic. Finally, they get it to him. And so Rob and Robette are still in the middle of the dance floor. And he grabs the mic and he looks at them, and he's not standing up straight. He looks like he needs a railing to lean on. And he's
or
like,
Kane.
Robette. This is your second time around.
Wow, no way. No way. Don't F it up.
And it is up to you to make it work. and he kept going.
Because that wasn't enough.
And every time he paused, not for effect, but because he was too drunk to think of the words,
Right.
we started going, cheers! In the hope that, he would take the hint and cut it off.
Right, yeah, this is it.
He was probably only up there about 40 seconds, but it felt like a very, very long time, I'm sure, to the bride as well.
Yeah, no, that's not what you kind of want to think of this as your first time. The first time it's going to work, not rehashing.
And you always hear about those disastrous speeches at weddings, but
you got to live it. That's awesome.
This was a real one. Yeah.
No, that's wow. Yeah, thank God in mine. It was.
They kept it clean.
We didn't provide a mic at the wedding.
Good move.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Because you had combustible elements that people who couldn't be trusted.
No, that's the main reason.
And I know you love us and all that, but you shouldn't be trusting us with microphones. Drunkenness gets involved.
So next week's podcast sponsored by
Speaking
Rob and Robette's
Drunk uncle.
Drunk uncle. We'll get him in here as a guest.
I wasn't even really that drunk.
No, you claimed you only had two Coronas and a rum and Coke.
Your fourth podcast.
Then you're
This is your
lightweight.
fifth. Don't make sure it's your last. Well, doing this, we might.
Make sure you do it right.
It's
up to
Start
you.
calling him Drunkle Rob. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Drunk.
Drunk
Let's call the uncle
Drunkle.
Robin. Robin. I guess.
Robin. Drunkle Robin.
Yeah. What?
Robette is better.
Yeah. So, well, I guess we won't put you through anymore. Unless Stefan's did another 30-minute story.
No, that's my last one. Of a 30-minute variety. I got some 60-minute stories.
Right. Well, I'm sure Black Iron Man will ask you to eat a rib.
Run back to your soundboard, you bastard.
It's okay. You don't have to eat a rib. Go to Liberty Kitchen though.
Yeah, do that. Do
word.
that. And I've got nothing. Just try to make it to work. Just try to stay there 8 hours. And your lunch hour, listen to this.
Right.
And avoid Rob and Robette's uncle, apparently.
Or at least he's drunk.
Yeah.
So, that's it. Fourth installment in the books. New play out song. It's catchy. Everybody.
Is this one
everybody
copyright
loves it.
protected?
So we'll find out.
Is
once
this
I
somebody
upload
that I
it.
used to know? Is that song?
It's a new song.
Okay, it's not
but,
that one. Okay.
So that's it. I know the star of the tonight's show was the chairs. So the creakiness.
The wicker.
I try not to move. I love wicker though. Wicker's great.
No, the wicker is the good. It's the real. It's not the virtual. So that's it. Fourth in the books.
Nice.
Hopefully there's a fifth. Listen. Let us know. We'll get at you later. Night, y'all.
Let's count this money.
First the news.
Through wishing the well, don't ask me, I'll never tell. I looked to you as it fell, and now you're in my way. I trade my soul for a wish, pennies and dimes for a kiss. I wasn't looking for this, but now you're in my way. Your stare was holding, red jeans, skin was showing.